Hi guys, this is Tommy here. So before I start my collection, I want to tell you something. I was really into retro gaming. Yes, as much as I like modern gaming, I really like retro gaming. Yet, like games from the 90s and 2000s. And and today I'm going to show you some of my Mega Drive games collection. So before I start, I'm going to show you something good from my collection. It's the Mega Drive Model 2, also known as the Sega Genesis in America. The console itself was released in 1989 in America and in 1990 in Europe, and the second model was released in 1993. It looks pretty good, pretty light, and let's start the collection, shall we? So here are my games. And the first game I'm going to show you is the game that started it all. The original Sonic. This game has been pretty popular since it came out in 1991. And here's the front, side, and the back. It was a bit hard, but it looks pretty fun to play. And here's the cartridge itself and the manual. It has the memorable soundtrack like the Green Hill Zone music, which is pretty legendary. And here's another game, another Sonic game I have in my collection, Sonic 2. This game marks the first appearance of Tails and Super Sonic. Here's the front, side, and the back. And the logo looks kind of cool, the graphics look nice, and the soundtrack is pretty memorable as the first one. And no manual, and here's the cartridge itself. Pretty old school, very legendary, and still one of the best Sonic games ever made. And the fun fact about Sonic 1 is this game has been ported in several consoles, like in Sonic Mega Collection, and this game was released as a bonus feature on Sonic Generations. Yeah, two Sonics for the price of one. And speaking of two, there's Mortal Kombat 2. This was the only Mortal Kombat game I have in my collection, but this is actually the best one yet. So here's the front, side, and also the back. It has some great selection of characters like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, and Liu Kang. And it has, in this game, marks the first appearance of Shao Kahn. And here's the cartridge itself. The logo looks pretty cool, graphics look cool, and this is actually a better version of that game. That was actually the best Mortal Kombat around, and one of the most memorable fighting games around. And next up is Street Fighter 2 Special Champion Edition. This is an updated Street Fighter 2. The cover looks awesome. It's got Ryu, the main character, and Bison, the villain of the game. Here's the front, side, and the back. 1 or 2 player 16-bit cartridge. I had the Super Nintendo version of Street Fighter 2 and Street Fighter 2 Turbo and Super Street Fighter 2, but I had the Mega Drive version. But this game was released on PC Engine or Turbo Graphics. And here's the cartridge itself and the manual. And another game, long before Sonic Origins and Sonic Mega Collection and Mega Collection Plus, there's Sonic Compilation. This game includes the first 3 Sonic games include Sonic 1 and 2 and Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Front, side, and back. And the cartridge. And the fun fact is, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine has got characters from the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. I remember watching the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog as a kid, but even though Phantom Strider and Nostalgia Critic never liked that show, but I can handle their opinion. If you guys don't like the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, I'm fine with your opinion. Next up, since Lion King came out 30 years ago, there's the Lion King game on Mega Drive. I had the Super Nintendo version long ago, but I have the Mega Drive version, but I didn't have the Super Nintendo version anymore. But here's the front, side, and back. It's got music from the movie remixed in the game. And here's the cartridge itself inside. Well, it's a bit sealed. Well, it's a pretty hard game, but much harder than Battletoads or Dark Souls. And another game, my favourite Power Rangers game of all time, and one of my favourite Mega Drive games, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. This game is based on the hit 1995 summer movie of the same name. Here's the front, side, and the back, and the cartridge itself. I showed you that game on my Power Rangers games collection 1 year ago, but this is the best Power Rangers game and my favourite Power Rangers game of all time. Oh, I think there's another one last game I have in my Mega Drive collection. It's there it is, Aladdin on the Mega Drive. This is the only game in my collection that didn't have a box, so it looks pretty unique. It's got Aladdin, Jafar, and the Genie, voiced by Robin Williams. What's interesting about the cartridge has the name of the game on the label. So, rest in peace, Robin Williams. But a pretty fun game. So, that's it for my Mega Drive games collection or Genesis games collection. So, I hope you enjoyed my collection. So, I hope you're enjoying that video. And what's your favourite retro gaming console? Your retro gaming memory? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.